you, every one of you. 50 Cent received a terrifying phone message from Big Meech ordering him to stop talking about his son or face severe consequences. This comes after 50 released a bizarre video in which Lil Meech accuses his longtime pal of a crime and lets him face consequences. This friend now backs 50 and claims that Lil Meech's imprisonment was due to his treachery. 50 Cent has been criticizing the father-son dynamic for months, and Big Meech seems to have had enough. Let's just say that things could turn ugly if 50 goes on. To start, 50 Cent recently shared this incredible body cam video of Lil Meech abandoning his friend during a traffic check. The companion of Lil Meech, who was arrested in the movie, claimed that Meech had betrayed him to the police. The video captures both men being arrested while Lil Meech sits in the back of a patrol cruiser. Once, after the officer reports finding a gun, he asks, "Did you discover the other stuff?" The ridiculous thing is that, despite the officer's recent declaration that it was lawful to carry a handgun, they nonetheless searched the car again after Meech's inquiry. The trouble is that this pal recently shared everything on Instagram after being imprisoned for betraying him with Lil Meech. The user, 3Luck, published a number of photos of him and Lil Meech chilling out, along with the body cam evidence. He also says Meech turned against the police and was charged with firearms and drugs. "Reason I got to go do Fed time," the man wrote as the photo's caption. Observe this. "My existence on Trouza is supposed to be authentic, but it's fake, and I hate phonies like Lil Meech." After that, he attacked Big Meech, saying that he had raised a lame and that Lil Meech had made him shoulder the responsibility for having a pistol and narcotics in the car while he was asleep. He continued by saying that 50 Cent had backed him when he called Lil Meech a snake. He apologized in the letter and promised to pay me back, even if it means betraying 50 at the same time. What's the reason behind your question? Were the weapons and other things taken away from me? That's not telling. You see, I only walked around the little drug cat guy because I thought Meech was my lifelong buddy, and I'd known him for 20 years only to find out that he had deceived himself. Why are you with the same guy that caused me trouble? I had to spend a lot of money on 3 different bonds and lawyers because of him. But although this guy was totally clean of drugs, you were too busy pulling and teaching him how to keep a straight face and be faithful to someone who was keeping him safe. This parent then said that Lil Meech's snitch cost him money for his business and will cause him to lose years of his child's life. Then, using the saying of Big Meech, he said, "Death before dishonor is what these men mean when they say things like, 'I love you.'" Lil Meech hasn't officially addressed these charges yet, but you already know who did. Yes, 50 Cent wasted no time in pointing out Lil Meech's rudeness. First, 50 made a joke about Lil Meech in a screenshot of power star Michael Rainey Jr.'s Us West Instagram account. "I'm proud of you, Michael," I replied. "Your page was visited by me. Ironic. Consider what occurs if you spend all of your money on Chrome Hearts jeans without doing drugs." Several hours later, 50 released the body cam footage of Lil Meech betraying his friend again. Screenshots and the friend's explanation are included this time. "How are you? Hi, while your partner is sleeping like this, will you place your medicines and strap on his lap?" Although it was a tourist lull, 50 wasn't quite done. Later, he came back with yet another questionable post. This time it was an image from the BMF Pop show with a description that included a troll of Meech. When he first showed up at the airport with a gun, he was crazed and in a panic. He's on camera discussing his friends, and 50 people don't give a fuck, so you know this is terrible. To put things in perspective, this comment from the airport was a reference to another video that was released to the public, which showed Lil Meech being arrested when TSA found an unloaded gun in his suitcase despite having a permit to possess one. But that's what Meech tried to say. The strangest thing about this movie is that even though he was 23 at the time, he wasn't considered an adult by law. in a final attempt to convince the TSA of his celebrity. Meech played the "Do you know who I am" card and gave his name. You know full well that 50 Cent is prone to mistakes. After a new video of Lil Meech cheating on his partner went viral, 50 was granted access to high-quality footage for his pointless Instagram posts. The problem is that Big Meech, the father of Lil Meech, has now come forward and told 50 to dismiss his son. Big Meech captioned a series of photos he published of himself and his child after those questionable posts about Lil Meech's snitching and Big Meech's failings as a father went viral. "We are unstoppable. We went all the way up." But in addition to posting father-son photos, it seems like Big Meech might be working behind the scenes. The tailies started to show that Big Meech personally called one of his former co-workers after 50 accused Lil Meech of snitching multiple times. Many industry sources claim that the message was, "Tell him to stop playing with my son or else." The fact that Big Meech dislikes using strong language online is now evident. It's hard to ignore this shift in tone though, and there have even been claims that several producers of the BMF series left the show to try to defuse the situation before it turned into a real-life problem. Remember that 50 did more than just torment Lil Meech. Big Meech's romance with Rick Ross earlier this year was the catalyst for the entire affair. Additionally, Big Meech faced widespread accusations of being a rat. According to 50, Meech snitched to reduce his First Step Act sentence. By releasing a screenshot of court documents, he also tried to suggest that Meech became a cooperating witness through his old friend Tammy Cowens. However, there's no evidence that Meech snitched in his actual case. The sentencing parameters were changed, not because he cooperated, and he served 27 of the 30 years that were allotted to him. In a rare jail interview that was just made public, Big Meech also denied the snitching charges. He said the story would have made the press by now if he had ever cooperated. Furthermore, the whole snitching affair is the root of the fan argument. Some contend that 50 had no right to label Big Meech a rat after he had been behind bars for nearly 30 years. Others, however, believe that Major Meech's choice to work with Rick Ross was a serious betrayal, especially considering that 50 gave Lil Meech his major acting debut and supported Meech's family when he was in prison. Notably, 50 Cent has already hinted that this is the real reason why Big Meech betrayed him. 50 asserts that 50's close bond with Lil Meech scared Big Meech. 50 recently revealed on Instagram that he broke up with Big Meech primarily out of envy. Big Meech claimed he could not handle Lil Meech getting close to 50, so he ended up cutting off his own son's financial aid. 50 also said that Big Meech was a bad example for his child, pushing him to waste money and take drugs. In order to help Lil Meech kick his bad habits, 50 stepped in as a true father figure. The craziest part was when 50 said that Lil Meech had a serious breakdown because of substance addiction during the filming of BMF, and that 50 was the one who assisted him in getting the necessary therapy. 50 wrote, "I thought about it for a while. I think my friendship with Mimi made him uncomfortable. Notifying Mimi that I want him to take medicine. I used to do X," he informed him. "You know, it's cool. Calm down, stop wasting all your money. I tell Mimi," he told him. how much money he'd squandered. No one knew I had to get Mimi into a rehab center. On the shoot, Russell Horn's blood pressure was extremely elevated. During a weapons test, he started throwing up. Then Ian told me the little man's pickup was full of whippets. What the F are whippets? Oh, I exclaimed. It appears that B&B beans are the ish. However, Lil Meech utterly blew that opportunity by allegedly spending the $5 million he made from the show in just 3 years on clothes, jewelry, and cars rather than investing it. You have to acknowledge that 50 Cent has a point, especially after what he did for Lil Meech, which essentially altered his life. It gets a little more complicated when it comes to the entire snitching problem. Those who know Meech say he decides who's considered a snitch. People are accusing 50 of being hypocritical. And given that Meech was now threatening 50 and seeing Ross, did 50 respond this time by fabricating the tale that Meech was a rat?